somewhere nearby Park City, Utah. Right now we're I-80 westbound, of course, going through the whatever gorge, whatever it's called, gorge, once again. On our way out to Salt Lake City. And we are limping along here. We are having truck boo-boos. We got truck problems here. Specifically transmission problems, of course. So last night I was coming, along there through Wyoming, getting pretty close to Utah, and I'm fairly heavy. I got like 39,000 pounds in the box, 71 or 72,000 pounds gross, and as you may or may not have seen in one of my last videos, I had to pull into a TA back there in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, to check the transmission fluid in the tranny, because I was getting some pretty high-pitched whines and stuff, and it was starting to sound really bad. And it turned out that we were really low. We were like 1.5 gallons low on tranny fluid, right? And so anyway, so they put the they topped it off for us, and things were smoother again, right? Of course, right? It was shifting better again, and it wasn't as noisy as it was, but I could hear that it was still, there was something had gotten damaged in there, right? I could just tell, it was not as nice, it was not as quiet as it had once been, right? So I knew we had done some damage to something, right? It was just a matter of how bad the damage was. So anyways, so I'm coming down a grade last night, doing about 70, 72, 10th gear, engine brake on, and using the brakes as needed to keep myself, because I didn't want this truck going up into high RPMs, up to like 80 miles an hour, because I knew that, there was a potential issue going on still in the transmission. So we're cruising along. I got the engine brake on, and just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it just like crunch, something starts clanking around down in there. It just sounds like something's grinding and this and that, and I was like, shit. So I, slowed it down, brought it down to like 60, and pulled off at my first available, truck stop, which was a Pilot Flying J in Evanston there. And I have some video of hanging out in the parking lot there. I'm not sure if that's going to get uploaded or not. We'll see. And I do talk about some of this stuff in that video. But so anyways, so I let the boss know, and so we ended up just camping out over there. And so this morning about 8 o'clock, he gives me a call. He says, hey, I have a mobile diesel mechanic guy. He's going to come by, and he's going to come take a look and a listen for it, and see what he thinks. So that guy came by, and we went for a drive, up the road, and he was listening to it, and he goes, it sounds like a bearing's out. And I instantaneous, I was like, yep, that's exactly what it sounds like. It didn't occur to me that could be a bearing, right? But the second he said it, I was like, yep, that's exactly what it sounds like. If you ever had a wheel bearing go out on an older truck or something like that, which I have, it's that exact sound when they lose lubrication in the little bearings inside there get too hot, and basically they come loose kind of, and they start rattling around against each other on the inside of the ring. Because there's two rings, and then there's like either ball bearings or little cone-shaped bearings for like a wheel, an axle bearing, and then there's an outer ring, right? And so those little bearings are in between those two rings, and they just start rattling around. It becomes loose instead of tight, and that's exactly the sound that I'm getting from inside the transmission. Is that very kind of rattling around sound, right? Not so much a grinding, but it sounds like it's rattling. So the guy, he says, well, there's only like 2 techs out here, diesel techs, who will do work on it, but they're gonna charge you freaking, something outrageous to bother with it. So Salt Lake City's up the way, from where we were, whatever, 50 or 60 miles. Like, you can probably, try and make it out there, or find yourself a shop that'll take care of it for you, for a better price. So that's what we're doing. We're heading out there to Salt Lake City, and we're going to be down for the count until we get this dealt with, because it's definitely it's too big of a problem to continue, especially with this much weight. As a matter of fact, we were just cruising along there. We had just gotten past the port of entry to Utah, and I'm just running along at like 13,500 RPMs, right? Keeping it kind of slow at like 65 miles an hour. Got cruise control in 10th gear, and we're just going along kind of flat, and it just fell out of gear on its own. And of course the cruise control was still on, so so the engine is still running at 1,300 RPM, but I got no transmission to go along with it, so that was kind of interesting. And so basically it was just in neutral, and it just slipped out of gear, and it shouldn't do that, right? That's not a good thing. So the big concern at this point, right, is we're coming into Salt Lake City, and there is a pretty big downgrade that we got to get down. It's fairly long, and it's fairly steep, and it's just up over this hill. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. So anyway, whatever. I think what I'm going to wind up doing is I'm just going to wind up running down it. Actually, 9th gear sounds pretty good. Like right now we're in 10th. I'm going to drop down into 9th right now, and 9th sounds good. So 9th sounds really good. So I'm probably going to run it down into 9th, and maybe drop down into 8th if I need to. Of course, 8th sounds really bad. So it's basically 6, 8, and 10 sound the worst. 7 and 9 don't sound. 9 sounds the best out of all of them. 7's still pretty rough. I'm going to drop down into 8th right now. And then my low range gears, 5th is horrible. 5th, 5 and 10 are in the same house, so they just sound just horrible. We're about to drop down to the 7th here in a minute, I think. So I think we can hopefully keep her under control going down this grade in a minute. Yeah, so 7th sounds so-so. 9th sounds the best out of all of them. But they all sound rough. None of them are happy. So we're just going to take it easy here. Yep. check-in here. We got now Sunday, April 11th, 2021. Current local time here in Park City is 11:18 in the a.m. It's pretty chilly out here, about 41 degrees, and we are at an elevation of about 6,800 feet. And yes, we have a pretty big downgrade coming up here in a minute. So yeah, we're going to be flashers on, taking it probably 35 miles an hour down this bank, something like that. And then we're going to be sidelined down here in Salt Lake City, wherever we wind up. I'm guessing we'll wind up probably in a motel room for a couple days or something. Tell you what, it feels a lot different being the guy getting passed up by all the trucks all day long. Not used to it. So here we go. 10 miles, 6%. Matter of fact, I'm going to drop down into 8th right now, just to play it cool. Yeah, we can get away with 9. Miles an hour. Be good to go. Backing down to 45. drive. Engine brake on high. And then we're reading. pretty much most of it right there. The rest of this is just kind of just a slight grade, kind of windy through here. There you go. Not so bad. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. Move, dog. Move. No, get that shit out of there. Excuse me. Sorry about that. He wants to bring his water buffalo horn up here and put it underneath my brake pedals. No, Max. No. No, it needs to stay back there. No, 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 no. Stubborn frickin' dog. All moping now. He's just back there moping. It's like, I always bring it up here though. No, you don't, because normally it's tied up to a string, so you can't bring it up here. That's the one thing that he cannot at all bring up here. So I use it. I have it always tied up to a piece of rope. Right, but he gnawed through the rope, right, of course. Yep, just a Sunday drive here. Just buttering along. Normally I'm taking this stuff at like 10 miles an hour faster than I am right now, so it's just kind of weird. requested an address from the boss, and he has not responded, so I don't know where I am going. So I got to give him a call, and that means I need to use the phone here. So anyways, we'll see. We'll check back in a bit. Okay. Well, we have made it to this Pilot Flying J over here in Salt Lake City, and we are sidelined for I don't know, a couple few days, I guess. The boss, today is Sunday, and so most of the shops out here are closed, of course. The only place that is open is a Freightliner dealership, and they have like a whole line of trucks ahead of us. Like if we were to get in line, they have like something ridiculous. The boss said something like 43 trucks ahead of us or something, right? I mean, that would be the optimum place to go get this dealt with. But there's some local shops, of course, smaller shops and whatnot. So basically we're going to be hanging out here, camping out overnight, and then tomorrow morning, once some of the local shops open up, he's going to give him a call and see if they can get us in and get this puppy diagnosed and get it taken care of. So that said, we are going to be hanging out in Salt Lake City for the foreseeable future until it's resolved, or until we come up with a plan B. He had a couple plan Bs, one of which was running the remaining 160 miles as the truck is out to Wells and making this delivery, and then running deadhead back to the yard from there, which would be easier on the transmission without all the weight, right? But I told him, I says, hey, I mean, if it was my truck, I wouldn't do it, because right now it's probably just a bearing, and it's probably still, just a bearing, a damaged bearing. If we run even that 160 miles, it could end up being, a shattered gear, or it could end up just being a completely ruined transmission, and that would be super expensive. So I kind of persuaded him out of that idea. I mean, he's ready to get rid of this truck anyways, but that's the thing is, how do you get rid of a truck that's got a blown transmission, right? So I told him, let's keep it, let's not damage it more, and then, I mean, plus you're running the risk of, it just completely failing out there on the road, and then, having to pay for a tow, a semi tow truck, which are not cheap, those run in the thousands of dollars to get towed off the side of that interstate. And then depends on how far you got to take it too, right? So it's just like AAA or something. They charge, a flat fee for the pickup, and then they charge by the mile after a certain amount of miles and stuff. So, and then his plan C was him coming out here, running an Amazon load out here in his truck, and coming and putting this truck in a shop out here, picking me and the dog up, and then hauling this trailer and delivering out to Wells. And basically we would just run his truck with this trailer back home, and then when this truck is fixed, driving back out here and picking it back up. But to me, I was like, that just seems like kind of like, not necessarily a waste of time, but kind of like, I don't know. It was just, I think he was just kind of brainstorming options, and I told him, I says, I don't mind hanging out here. It's not that big of a deal. This kind of stuff happens, so I figured, whatever. I'd rather be sitting here in this parking lot for a couple days than getting broke down on the side of the interstate and having to get, a wrecker and being towed someplace, and all the awkwardness that comes with that, right? That would just be, a mess. So anyways, yeah, so we're gonna be hanging out here, and Max is just spaz right now because I'm talking. He thinks I'm talking to him, of course. And whatever, I mean, you know, we're like not downtown Salt Lake City, but we're within Salt Lake city limits. And so there's plenty of stuff within walking distance. I mean, this Flying J has a Denny's, you know, so we got food, and I can go pay for a shower if I need to get a shower, all that kind of stuff. I do need to get a shower, actually, so I probably will be going and paying for it. I should have gotten my shower back at Wheat Ridge. I skipped it. I was like, you know what? I'll get a shower when I get out to Wells, because I would have been in Wells, Nevada last night and found myself a TA out there and got my shower there, and so I skipped my shower in Wheat Ridge, and now here I am without having had a shower. So that's funny the way that works, huh? That's what I get for not listening to my gut. So that's about that. I don't know. Oh, here, you want to see something really funny? Here, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch this dog flip out when I wash my hands. Oh, wait a minute, I can't do this anymore. I can't tilt this thing anymore, son of a bitch. Huh, how am I gonna show you this? Okay, I'm gonna have to put you on hold here real quick. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. So take two. So I got my my hand sanitizer stuff, right? And it's you know, just like the rest of them, highly, you know, it's got 70% alcohol in it, right? And so he just goes bananas, right? So what I'll do is I'll do my hands, I'll wipe my hand, and then I'll wipe them off on the towel, right? I'll wash my hands with this stuff, and then I'll so you gotta watch. See, he's already freaking out because he knows what it is, right? Well, I gotta make sure you can see. Can you see? All right, here we go. Here we go, Max. Here we go. He just goes nuts. Here you go, Max. Here, look. What's that? What's that? Here we go. It's pretty funny. He goes pretty bonkers over it. Yeah. Yes, that's right. I'm doing the washing my hands stuff, huh? Yeah. Huh? What's that? What's that? It just goes bananas over it. Yeah. And every once in a while, right, I'll be driving, and I'll be up in the front, you know, just driving away, you know, driving along, and things will be relatively quiet. And all of a sudden, I'll start hearing, hang on. Yeah, so all of a sudden I'll start hearing, ow, Max. I'll start hearing that very kind of language coming from him. And he'll just be acting you know, acting a fool, right? Acting a spaz back here. And typically I'll just figure, you know, it's something with one of his toys, and you know, every once in a while I'll look back and this hand sanitizer bottle will have fallen off the shelf here onto the floor, and he'll be over there just just nudging it and just like being all like, just like he was just like that with my hands, like wanting to get to it, wanting to mess with it, and then, you know, but not ever actually touching it. It's really funny, like just like getting up and balking every time, right? It's pretty funny. So anyways, there you go. So we'll talk to y'all later. I gotta lay down. Alright, see ya. Alright, here we go, check it out. A trucker dinner in style. Yeah, chilling in the cab. Got my my Alaskan salmon, my rice and lentils, my broccoli, and my garden salad, my house salad. And my cheesecake is in my fridge. And Max gets the lemon peels to mess around with. He's gonna bug out on them because they're all citrusy. It's way over there now. He doesn't know what to do. It reminds me a lot of that time that that we found that we found that red onion in the parking lot over there in Oklahoma City, and he was just bugging on it all night long, and then he had stinky ass puppy onion breath. It was pretty raunchy, but yeah, I'm rocking. Not bad, huh? Yeah, and the cheesecake is in there, so you don't get to see that quite yet. So anyways, this is how we do it when we're down. All right, see ya. Okay, here we go. I told you I would show you. Yes, look at those beautiful strawberries. I ordered my cheesecake. I said, just give it to me dry. She says, are you sure you don't want strawberries on it? I said, well, put some strawberries on it. Yeah. Oh, those are really good too. Normally I don't like strawberry cheesecake, but being that they're kind of fresh strawberries, I figured, let's do it. Oh, it splurged a little bit. Excuse me. And no, I'm not sharing with Max. And by the way, this is all from Denny's. Got Denny's over here at the Pilot Flying J, which is awesome because their selection of cold food over there really isn't that great. Actually, they don't have a bad warm food section over there. They actually had some decent looking warm food. But Denny. But Denny's definitely not a dinner at the time. He heard me say that I'm not going to share with him. That was so good. It is so delicious. Man, that is so good. I just love cheesecake. I love it so much. Oh yes, I wish I just had the whole cake. Oh, it's so good. Oh my gosh. Oh, yummy, yummy, yummy. What's that? Sounds like somebody starting a truck. Sounds like our neighbor started his truck. Wait a minute. Hey, you're getting a little too close for comfort on my cheesecake there. It's so good. Look how close he is. Get your ass down. No. Nope. Well, we went from cheesecake to dog food. Yummy. You know what? Something I hate. I don't hate. I just don't understand when people take videos or take pictures of their food, right? They go to a restaurant and they get their food and they take a picture of it. It's just never, I don't know. I don't know. And here I am doing it. That's pretty funny. Yep, that's really good. Really, it's just all about the dog. What are you doing? What are you doing? You nosy body. You're such a freaking nosy body. You know? Just a nosy body. You gotta have your nose in every body. No biting my pant legs. God, I love this dog. I do. I love him so freaking much. It's crazy. What a pain in the ass he is, but I just freaking love him. I really do. Huh, bud? I love ya. Huh? I just love ya. I think he loves me too, pretty much. I think he does. Somebody's gotta. Huh? Somebody's gotta. Right? Look at him. Yeah. Except for when you bite my toes. Hey, what are you doing? I'm going back to eat my cheesecake. Flash off. Oops. Wait, how do I do that? Flash off. Flash on, flash off. Okay, gotta go. I hope you all are doing well. We'll see you somewhere down the road here. Take care. Get your towel. Good boy. Go on, help your towel. Get your towel. Go get your towel. Go ahead. Hump your towel. Atta boy. You love your towel. Yes, puberty. It is a wonderful time in a young male's life. It's just part of the routine. Yep.